Hello, this presentation is intended for those of you who are unable to attend one of the in-person meetings held in October. This information will help you inform your decisions about the online survey that is now available on the website. You may listen to individual sections of the presentation as you find them helpful. For those of you who are new to the process or just jumping in this round, this is the second of 3 rounds of public input that we will be hosting during the process. The process kicked off in early 2022, and we are on track to have a review draft of the land use plan available in early 2023. The plan is anticipated to be adopted sometime in the spring of 2023. The purpose of the land use plan is to establish an overarching vision and goals for the use of land in unincorporated Park County. This is an important distinction. You should note that the city of Cody, Powell, and the town of Meeteetse all have plans for their incorporated areas. So we're focused on the unincorporated areas, and this is really a document that the county uses to inform day-to-day decision-making. It addresses growth, but also how the county works with others, service providers, federal and state partners, a lot of different people who help kind of achieve the goals of the county through their day-to-day work. It's important to note that this is an advisory document. It is not regulations. It is implemented through the county's regulations. And so one of the changes that you will see from the 1998 plan to the new plan is that there will be a stronger focus on the shoulds versus shalls in the land use plan. So the land use plan will be implemented through updates to the county's regulations following the adoption of the plan. A few other things to note. The land use plan will include both countywide goals and policies, but also planning area specific policies. And that's really the focus of this round of outreach, is to try to get feedback on kind of the wants and desires from folks in individual planning areas that we need to address in the updated plan. There have been a number of opportunities for input so far. So beyond the community meetings and online opportunities we've been providing, we've also done some very targeted outreach to individual stakeholder groups, ranging from federal and state partners, irrigation districts, water providers, lots of different folks, conservation groups, youth outreach. So a lot of different ways that we are trying to get a balance of perspectives into this process. And in terms of overall participation, we had very strong responses to our initial survey back in the spring. We had over 700 responses based on the county's population. This is a statistically valid response. That is one component. We are also looking at responses from all of the rounds of input that we are getting, individual comments we're receiving. We are looking at the collective body of input that we are receiving throughout the process. So as you know, we had a whole series of public meetings in October, and we will be completing a similar round of meetings in different locations of the county when the draft plan is released in December. And at this point, we also had a public meeting on Zoom. So as we've done with our other rounds of input, we also hosted a virtual public meeting and then the online survey, which you are now considering. So for the purposes of this presentation, there are 3 main sections: countywide trends and forecasts, which looks at the demographics and population trends in the county. We're going to talk about factors influencing growth, looking at land suitability and other kind of geographic considerations, service considerations. And then the focus of the online survey will be the key policy choices. And so that section of the presentation will provide you with some context to help understand your kind of what the context is for each of the questions that we're asking. Before we jump into each of the sections, we do want to emphasize the role of the county in this land use plan process. So the authority to have and establish a land use plan comes through the state. So the county has the authority to promote public health, safety, and welfare through this plan. And the plan also allows the county to influence where growth occurs and what it looks like. There are some things, some limitations, however, and so the county cannot deprive people of the use of their land or dictate how many people are going to move here, where they come from, or where they choose to live. So this land use plan is essentially an opportunity to think about where and how growth occurs, and to have a conversation with the community about the trade-offs that come with that conversation.